Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Tuesday, September the 18th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple hypotheses. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we create a plan based on who takes control after the RTH opens, and then we execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Taking a look at yesterday. Yesterday, we had an open auction in range. We were actually looking for a responsive selling, but we were looking for buyers to step in down here at the naked VPOC and at the low and holding that 2,900. And we tried to do that, but as the day went on, we had those news of tariffs coming out, and the market after, of course, Trump tweets that he's going to make an announcement after the market. And the market does not like uncertainty, therefore we sold off and we closed below 2,900. Put in a week low. We were looking for continuation on the news. We got that. So basically, we had a normal variation with a downward skew versus what we were expecting on Hypo 1, which was a responsive selling and then buying and then drifting up into that 2911, and where the scene of the crime from the China tariffs at 1375. Taking a look at the overnight. Overnight, of course, we did get the news. There's the news right there. The scene of the crime was 2894. We rotated all the way down to the 2883.50, and then the buyer stepped in and just grinded us right back up into the 2900s. We created a very weak low. We just put in, a weak high. We just put in a new high, so we're pushing on the Globex high. P-shaped profile, that is basically short covering, and we're right back up into this balance that we've been in, and basically holding. This market just doesn't want to go down. So let's take a look at the news. We had 8:30, we had manufacturing sales, came out much better than expected, 0.9 versus 0.6. We have Red Book year over year and month over month in 8 minutes. And then we have NAHB Housing Market Index at 10. And then we've got 4-week bill auction at 11:30. And that's about it, for the Globex, or for the RTH, I should say. Not a lot of news today, but of course, it's all about tariff news lately. Each morning, I like to step back and take a look at the macro. I use a simple candlestick chart, a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for strength of the trend, slope of separation of the two moving averages is price paralleling the 9. We had 14 months of one-time framing up. February, they violated that one-time framing, and then we pounded on that 9, but we were unable to close below it, and then we get the continuation pattern, and here we are back in the 2900s, and the trend is very much intact on the monthly. Same thing on the weekly. Looked like we were going to roll over, but they took it back, and we've got slope and separation prices paralleling the 9 very nicely. We don't even challenge the trend on the weekly till we get down to the 2873. We didn't even do that on the tariff news. This is very strong market. On the daily, we were starting to one time frame down. They took it back and then we were starting to one time frame up again, and they violated that one time framing. We're losing some slope and separation, so we are fighting this 2900. We do not want to see us get back below that 94 for a couple different reasons. We'll get into that in just a minute when we get to the structure. On the intraday, the 4 hour, we moved down, had a inside bar, foo bar Mr. Sneaky, and we've closed the technical gap on that foo bar Mr. Sneaky, and we're trying to get back above the 20 and move above that 29.0450. And again, we have a zipper measured move right now with the primary target at 29.04 and a quarter. Going to the 30-minute, you can see that we've just been grinding up again. Another foo bar Mr. Sneaky technical gap, rotate back up, and we're above the 9 and the 20 now and getting possible continuation pattern. And then just going to the 5-minute, mostly consolidation for the last couple hours around that 2900, and we're back above the 9 and the 20 and getting the continuation pattern. So if we took a look at the structure, we broke excuse me, we broke out of this balance down here with the microcomposite VPOC down in the 45 area. We accepted value higher on the breakout, and then we get our gap up, and we come up and we create this 5-day profile up here with the VPOC that is at the 29.0175, 29.02 area. We broke out of that balance, came down to the last area that we accepted value before the gap up. We found balance down here in the microcomposite of the 5 days there at 85.50, and then we gap up, and now we're back in this profile right here. Let me just bring this forward so you can see it. And we're trying to hold above the microcomposite VPOC. Of course, this is also right at the 2900. There's a clear LVN. This is going to be our over-under line today at 28.98. And we don't want to get back below that because we're likely to rotate back down towards that 94. 94 is the microcomposite VPOC from the 24th till today. And that's the most accepted price right now. So we could play, my main hypothesis today is to play ping pong, between the 29.0175 to the 28.94 if we don't hold that microcomposite VPOC and hold the 2900. So key levels to pay attention to, of course, 29.0175, 98 is our over-under line. If we get below it, target the 94, and we don't want to break the 94 because if we break the 94, we're likely to put a new low below that 83 area that we put a low in the Globex and come down. If we come down below that, I'm expecting a bigger move, probably down into this 28.6350 area. So overnight inventory is pretty balanced. You can see that if you put near the open right there, you can see that we've got a pretty symmetrical rotation down and then rotation up. So I'd say we're pretty balanced in the overnight inventory. We are pushing the highs. We just put in 29.04. We missed that zipper measured move by 1 tick. I consider that to be a completed measured move whenever you get within 1 or 2 ticks of that measured move. Overnight VPOC is down here at the 2900. So we've got a lot of overlapping value right now. So in terms of my hypotheses for the day, my hypo 1 are, first of all, our overnight low is down here at the 83. Was it 83 or 83.50? 83.50. And our overnight high, we just put in a new overnight high, and we could put a new overnight high in coming into the RTH with the fact that we're only trading 5 ticks off of it. The daily ATR, the 20-period full session ATR, average true range is running at 1950. So off of the low of the night of 83.50, our upside daily ATR has already been met in the Globex. So pay attention to this, because if we get and we hold above the 2900 and above that naked VPOC, the microcomposite VPOC, we could get into a trend type scenario because we've already broken out of the daily ATR. And the downside daily ATR, I just have to adjust this up. We have to go up to 2904 minus 1950, 84.50. So we basically traversed the range, the average true range in the Globex already with a fairly large Globex move. But again, we're back in the 2900s. So in terms of hypotheses, my hypo 1 and hypo 2 are going to be equally, I can say that, equally weighted and based on the balance that we're in. But my main hypothesis is an open auction in range, in value, some wide chop as we chop around this microcomposite and VPOC and 2900, but a move down to close the gap. And then I'm looking for responsive buyers to step in down here between the 94 and the 91, rotate us back up and continue the auction up, and targeting the value area high up here at 2907 with a possible late day probe up into the 2911.50. Because of the fact that we're above the daily ATR, my hypo 2 is going to be a gap and go day, not a gap above the range, but a gap above the close of 96, 28.96. And I'm looking for open test drive, failure to close the gap, initiative buyers taking control and pushing us up into the 2910, 2911, chopping in this area and targeting the 2913.50. This is where the first China tariffs came in last week. And then I'm looking for a probe up into the all-time highs up here between the 2917.50, which is the September all-time high, and the 2922.50, which is the December all-time high, and this continuation of this move up. That is hypo 2. Hypo 3 is an open auction in range, take out the overnight high, failure to get above the 2907, sellers stepping in early, rotating us down through the 2900, down into the 28, chopping between 98 and 94, chopping in this area and then pushing down and coming down here to test this overnight low, and then basing down here and closing somewhere in the 91 to 94 area. That is hypo 3. Hypo 4 is a breakdown day. Sellers step in early. We fail to take out the 2907. They rotate us down into that 94, 91, and then fail, breaking below the 83 and pushing down towards the month low. The month low is actually 69.50, and putting in a new month low. I think there's low odds on that. I think we're more likely, remember it's quad witching, so we're going to basically see some two-sided action as they push to the puts and push to the calls, and try to punish both sides coming into Friday's quad witching. So those are my four main hypotheses. The fifth hypothesis, I can't talk today, is a tight, 8 to 10 point range, and we basically have an inside day as we chop around this 2901.50, and basically, playing ping pong between the 2901 and the 2894, and just going sideways inside of yesterday's range. So that's what I'm looking at in the ES. Going over to the gold. Balance right now is at the 1202. We're just fighting this 1200 area. We're doing a pretty good job of holding it. We can't seem to get below it and hold below it. So I think they're accepting this value around the 1200. Watch the 1208.50. If we get above the 1208.50, I'm looking for another test of the microcomposite value area high up here at the 1213.50. Composite LVN and the microcomposite value area high. And then if we can break that, then I'm looking for a move back to break this 18 up into the 20 area, but ultimately start the next leg up, and that target's going to be at 1233 area. If we do not hold the 1202, look for another move, and the key area to watch is this value area low at 1197. Anything below 1197, I think we take this fractal low out at 9270 and come down into the 8940. Anything below that, I think we get bigger dip down into the 1150 area as a next leg down. We still don't know which way it's going to be. I still think it's going to be to the upside to this 1233 and back towards the long-term balance, which is up there at the 1305.60. That's the most accepted price going all the way back to October 24th, 2008. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.